I feel like I'm the only person really excited about this movie coming to 4K because I haven't heard anybody talk about it, mention it, or anything. And as soon as it got announced, I was like, this is day one. This is beyond day one. I love this movie. We're going to talk about 1999's The General's Daughter, just released on 4K from Kino Lorber, and probably one of the best 4K scans. Is it scans? Yep, it's a 4K scan that I've seen all year. One of the best, I think, personally. But what do you think? We're going to talk about it.
What, she violated a code, she cheated, she lied, what?
Worse.
Drugs.
Worse.
Rape.
Worse.
What's worse than rape?
When you find that out, then you'll know everything, won't you?
In the 90s, we had a few of these military action kind of movies. We had The Rock. We had Crimson Tide. Those two I consider almost brother-sister films to each other. The General's Daughter, I would consider a lot closer to a distant cousin. I feel like it's got a lot of the same feel and vibe of those two movies because both The Rock and Crimson Tide are kind of military mutiny movies. This is not really that way, but it's kind of that way in a way. If you've seen it, you know what I'm talking about, maybe. I would consider this a distant cousin. In the same realm, make a great triple feature, honestly. But The General's Daughter is a movie that I feel like is just not one a lot of people either know, remember, gave a chance. And I want to hopefully change a few minds today because I really love this movie. And I think this 4K is just chef's kiss, you guys. Chef's kiss Kino. Because Kino, with their transfers, they knock it out the park when they do. You know, I haven't really had a bad Kino transfer this year. I've only bought this and Uncle Buck so far. Oh, and Bobby Joe and the Outlaw. But that's for another video for a whole coming soon. I'm going to say for a whole other time coming soon. But this one's really good. And I have everything to compare it to, you know. I got them all. So we're going to do a side-by-side, and we're going to see how much different it looks on the 4K, the new 4K, and the new Blu-ray compared to the older Blu-ray, which I think just came out in just a few years ago for the first time on Blu-ray. So it's not like an old Blu-ray. But this is a 4K scan from the original camera negative. And I've said it before. I've said it with American Pie. I've said it with a few other ones. They definitely turn the lights on with this one. But what's the General's Daughter about? I'm going to kind of talk to you while I do the side-by-sides. I'm going to kind of talk to you about the movie as well. The General's Daughter is a movie starring John Travolta, Madeline Stowe, beautiful, gorgeous Madeline Stowe. You got James Woods. James Cromwell is in this movie. A lot of actors that you'd recognize in it. But it's basically about the General's daughter gets murdered on a military base. And John Travolta is playing a military detective in charge of solving the murder. And Madeline Stowe plays a counselor. I don't want to say the word on YouTube because YouTube's funny about what you say without context. Because the General's daughter is found basically tied up on all four, on her back, spread eagle, dead, with signs of. So John Travolta and her have to basically put this mystery together. It's not really an action film. It is directed by Simon West, who also did, what else did Simon West do? He did, I think one of the Lara Croft Tomb Raiders. He did one of the Expendables. He's done a few big action movies. This one has I think a pretty good action piece at the opening with John Travolta at his boathouse. Which, let's just talk about the cinematography real fast. Cinematography is amazing. I love the lens flares. I love the widescreen, the camera angles, everything. I love the lighting. This was basically, there's a few scenes like this. It's not the whole movie's not like this, but remember when J.J. Abrams went a little crazy with the lens flares with Star Trek, then a little bit of Star Wars, but mostly Star Trek. There's a little bit of crazy lens flares in this, but I love it. I think it looks really good. So basically, John Travolta has this like action scene at this at his boathouse at night on the bayou. And at the end of it, he gets a call that he needs to come to the military base and investigate something. But earlier that day, he meets the general's daughter. So she's still alive at the beginning of the movie when he meets her for the first time. I think the night before, actually, he gets a flat tire. She's helping him. They have this funny scene interaction where he tries to thank her by dropping her off a gift, and she takes it the complete wrong way. Reminds me of just society today.
These are strange chocolates.
Bath products. Bath products.
Bath products? Mm-hmm. Should I take a hint?
No, of course not. Just bath product. Everybody likes bath products.
Do you?
Yes, I do. I like the pink soaps. I like the bath beads. I particularly like the bath beads.
Very good, First Sergeant. I levied a none too subtle accusation of sexism at you, and you took it 3 times around the dance floor.
Not really. I just dig bath beads.
But she also works in psyops. And psyops, in her explanation, is they just fuck with people's minds.
Psychological operations. I teach there.
What do you teach?
Mostly we fuck with people's minds.
So there's this whole psychology thing going on too with her, with people around her in the military, where she works, all this kind of stuff. Very much a detective kind of thing that you have to put together. You come to find out that she was a freak, to say the least. You know, they go to her house, she has like a dungeon.
Well, how she died does appear to be linked to how she lived.
So to speak, in her bedroom with videotapes. You know, and part of it probably has to do with how she got. So let's talk about that scene. Now, when it comes to those kind of scenes in cinema, a lot of them are just really hard to watch. You know, this isn't that bad to watch, but mostly because it's just visually stunning, like how it was shot. But at the same time, it's probably the worst out of any of the scenes in movies you've seen. Like, I would say it's worse than I Spit on Your Grave. Remember that scene? I would say this scene is a little worse based on what's happening, but it's not harder to watch. The scene in I Spit on Your Grave is 1,000 times harder to watch because it's like there's no music playing. It's very raw. Even that movie Irreversible with Monica Bellucci, that scene is hard to watch because it's raw and it's no sound and it's happening. This is like music playing, somebody narrating what's happening, and you're just kind of seeing it in flashes, you know. But I want to say it's the coolest shot in the movie, ironically, because they're at like this nighttime military training. Have you ever seen G.I. Jane? Imagine G.I. Jane, but she gets pulled to the side by a couple people, and while all this stuff is happening, explosions and helicopters and live rounds going everywhere. You know, it's probably the scariest out of any of those R scenes I've seen. But the way it's done with the music playing over and somebody telling you what's happening, it's a lot easier to digest than just no music. All you hear is what's happening, and it's like, that's a little hard to watch. So just wanted to warn you, there is one of those scenes in the movie, but it's really not that bad. And there's a cool little Casablanca reference with the love story-ish between John Travolta and Madeleine Stowe. They even reference it in the movie.
Thinking about Brussels, you know? We'll always have Brussels.
Where?
The capital of Belgium.
Why?
Why is it the capital, or why will we always have it?
Come on.
So did you ever marry that guy you're seeing on the side?
Paul, this isn't exactly the time to be...
Humor me. I'm near concussed. Now, did you or did you not marry the guy you're seeing on the side?
I was engaged to that guy. I was seeing you on the side.
Fine.
You know, in Casablanca, when he says, we'll always have Paris,
We'll always have Paris.
they kind of reference that. And their whole backstory is very similar, but it's just a small little, like, Easter egg they threw in there. But let's get to the actual, like, 4K scan of this. I think the skin tones in this look so good. So good. There's a few scenes where I really noticed a difference. There's a scene where Madeline Stowe goes to interrogate one of the guys involved in the... And you can see the window is like more orangey and just I don't know, it just looks better to me. I think this whole film's like the greens and the saturations. I think it just looks the best it's ever looked. I really do. It's on a 100 gigabyte disc, so it's gonna look the best. The only small thing I wish Kino would do, and this is a packaging thing, this is a nitpick because I think it's a perfect 4K transfer that nobody's talking about. I wish Kino would sometimes branch out and do different artwork. They did it for the first time for something I'm going to talk about in an upcoming video, but they never really do like reversible artwork, new artwork. Like this 4K, the exact same cover as the DVD, exact same cover as the VHS, and exact same cover as the Blu-ray. The only difference is the Blu-ray have like this kind of weird color tone to it, where these all are kind of similar with the blue tint. Thought that was kind of weird, but I would have liked to have seen something different with the artwork, or even some kind of reversible, but Kino doesn't do that, so I can't expect anything from them. I'm just so grateful that this transfer just knocked out of the park. Absolutely amazing. It's from 1999, shot on 35mm film. I think 1999 is one of the best years for movies in general, you know, but when it comes to actual 4K scans, me personally, this is one of the best of the year for me. I'm saying that as it's April, and I haven't had too many that just impressed me with how like better it was than the previous version. Constantine is up there. This is up there for now. Uncle Buck is probably up there. Uncle Buck was an amazing transfer, but Uncle Buck was my first time having it on any physical format. So, and it was my first time seeing it, so I can't really compare it to anything, but seeing it, I was like, yeah, that's dope. So if The General's Daughter is something that you've been thinking about and you're unsure about, I highly recommend the 4K. I think it looks amazing. I think this is a transfer, not just a movie that's highly underrated that nobody's talking about, but just a transfer that is worth the upgrade, in my opinion. But I do these side-by-sides to let you make your own decisions. Some people may be like, well, I have the older Blu-ray and I'm happy with it. I don't know if Kino, with this one, I'll have to double check, but I don't know if they put this on 4K and Blu-ray separately. I do know that this comes with a 4K and a Blu-ray. This does come with the new 4K scan on Blu-ray. But I do think the HDR and Dolby Vision enhances it a lot better. But if you have the older Blu-ray, you're probably fine. It's not like this isn't, as much as I'm saying I love it, it's not night and day. But it kind of is in a way. You know? But if you have this old one, I would definitely say you can upgrade. But like I said, make your own decisions. It's why I do this. If you have the DVD, definitely upgrade just because compression. Mostly, I think the colors in the DVD look fine, but I think the DVD and the Blu-ray look almost exactly the same minus the compression. I think the 4K, the new scan, is a major upgrade for a much deserved movie. Very highly underrated, and I'm stoked that it finally came to 4K and that it's a winner. You never know with 4K. Sometimes 4Ks are hit and miss. That's the problem with 4Ks. But I think this one is a good choice. Good winner.